Chosen one, take a breath and listen closely, because this moment is not an accident. This is your confirmation, your sign, your awakening. This is the message from God, reaching you at the exact moment your spirit became ready to receive it. Nothing about your arrival here is random. Nothing you have felt, questioned, or struggled with has been meaningless. You were guided to this message through divine timing, and you are hearing it now because your soul has reached a point where it can no longer sleep through what God is trying to show you. If you feel this resonance rising in your chest, if something in you is stirring, then comment 777 right now, because that inner pull is the first sign that you are one of the true chosen ones. The world around you may look the same, but something within you knows that everything is shifting. You have been sensing something. You have been feeling the pressure, the heaviness, the strange spiritual tension that you can't fully explain. Your dreams have been louder, your intuition has been sharper, your emotions have been unpredictable, your spirit has been restless. And it's not because you are breaking down, it is because you are waking up. God has been pushing you into spiritual alignment, preparing you for something greater, something sacred, something you were chosen to embody long before you understood who you really are. You are not hearing these words by coincidence. Only the true chosen ones feel this level of activation when their spirit is called. Only those who carry a divine calling feel their heart beat differently when they are approached with truth. You feel this because your soul recognizes the vibration behind these words. This is not just a voice. This is a transmission. This is awakening energy. This is the vibration that reaches a spirit that has been starving for clarity after walking through darkness for far too long. You are here because you are meant to rise, and rise now. God has been preparing you quietly. Through isolation, through heartbreak, through betrayal, through loss, through confusion, through every moment when you felt like the world was closing in on you. There was never chaos without purpose. There was never pain without transformation. Every battle you endured was shaping you into the spiritual warrior you are becoming. Every door that closed was redirecting you toward your sacred path. Every person who walked away was removed because their energy could not enter the next chapter of your destiny. You were not abandoned, you were positioned. Right now, you are standing at the edge of a spiritual awakening that is bigger than anything you have ever experienced before. A shift is coming, a real shift, a spiritual shift that will expose what is false, elevate what is true, and activate every gift that God placed inside you. This message is the final warning before that shift unfolds. It is the divine preparation before your transformation becomes visible. God is asking you to listen, to focus, to awaken, because your light is needed in ways you cannot yet imagine. The spiritual war around you is not symbolic, it is real. But so is your purpose, so is your protection, so is your calling. As you hear these words, something inside you is rising to the surface. A memory of who you were before the world tried to silence you. A memory of the strength you held before life tried to dim your fire. A memory of the divine identity that has always lived within you. You are not lost. You are being recalibrated. You are not weak. You are being activated. And you are not imagining this moment. This is your awakening. This is your activation. This is your return to your higher path. The chosen one is never called when everything is calm. You are called when the war becomes intense. You are awakened when the world shifts. You are activated when your spirit is needed. And right now your spirit is needed. The war is real. Your light is necessary. You were chosen for this exact moment in divine history, not because you are perfect, but because you are aligned with a truth that most people cannot feel. You carry a sacred destiny, and God is reminding you of it now. So, before we continue, pause for a moment and acknowledge what you feel, that pull in your chest. That pressure in your spirit, that heat in your soul, that is spiritual confirmation. That is your divine calling responding to this message. That is God's voice echoing through your intuition. You are not imagining any of it. You are being awakened for the shift that is about to unfold. And if this aligns with your spirit, if these words are touching something ancient and powerful within you, comment 777 right now. Let your soul answer the call. 1. The real reason you're feeling this shift. Chosen one, you have been feeling something changing inside you, and you have been trying to understand it, trying to name it, trying to make sense of why life suddenly feels different. These emotional waves, these moments of heaviness followed by moments of clarity, these stretches of isolation that feel both painful and strangely peaceful, these dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. None of it is random. You are not imagining these signs. You are not losing your mind. You are not overthinking or being dramatic. What you are experiencing is the beginning of a spiritual awakening, a shift in your spirit that has been set into motion by God Himself. This is a message from God delivered at the exact moment your soul became ready to hear the truth. You are being prepared for something greater. Lately, the world has felt louder to you. The noise, the energy, the chaos, the emotions of other people, they reach you more intensely than before. You feel things deeply, in a way that makes you question why you are affected when others are not. But that is because the chosen one is always spiritually sensitive long before they even know what they are destined for. Your spirit picks up on shifts long before your mind can understand them. You sense changes in energy before others notice anything at all. And what you have been sensing recently is real. The shift is approaching. The world is entering a new spiritual cycle, and those who are spiritually aligned feel the tremors before anything becomes visible. God is preparing His chosen ones before the next chapter begins, and that includes you. You have been isolated for a reason. It is not punishment. It is not abandonment. It is not misfortune. When God is elevating a chosen one, He removes distractions. He separates you from noise. He disconnects you from people who drain your energy. He closes doors that you keep trying to open. He places you in silence so your spirit can hear Him clearly. You may not have realized it at the time, but every lonely moment you felt was actually a moment of divine protection. Every loss was direction. Every delay was timing. Every disappointment was redirection. God was not taking things from you. He was preparing space for what He is sending next. This pressure you have been feeling in your chest, this feeling that something is coming, this sense of waiting without knowing what you are waiting for. This is the pull of your divine calling. It is the spiritual tension that happens when your old self is dissolving and your new self is emerging. You feel stretched because you are outgrowing everything that once kept you comfortable. You feel emotional because your spirit is shedding everything that cannot follow you into your next chapter. You feel restless because your soul is preparing to move while your physical life is still catching up. This tension is a sign of spiritual preparation, not spiritual confusion. You are being activated. God isolates His chosen ones before elevating them, because transformation does not happen in crowded rooms. Spiritual awakening requires space. It requires silence. It requires introspection. You cannot hear God clearly when you are surrounded by the noise of the world, so He pulls you inward. He gives you dreams that feel like messages. He gives you feelings that refuse to be ignored. He sends synchronicities that make you pause and question. He awakens your intuition and makes it louder, sharper, more insistent. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. You have been noticing numbers repeating, people appearing in your life at strange moments, conversations that feel like messages, signs that seem too specific to ignore. This is how God speaks to His chosen ones, when he is preparing them. This is how he marks the path. This is how he confirms that you are on the edge of a shift. These synchronicities are spiritual breadcrumbs, leading you toward your next level. They remind you that you are not forgotten, that you are not wandering aimlessly, that your journey is being guided in ways you may not fully understand yet. The emotional waves you have been experiencing are also part of this preparation. Some days you feel heavy without knowing why. Other days you feel lighter, clearer, more awake. This fluctuation is part of the spiritual cleansing happening within you. You are releasing old wounds, old energies, old patterns that were buried so deeply you forgot they existed. When God activates a chosen one, he does not simply elevate them, he transforms them, and transformation is always emotional. It shakes loose everything that has kept you small. It exposes the pain you tried to ignore. It forces you to confront what you carried for years. But every tear, every quiet moment, every internal storm is preparing you for clarity. Pain is the birth of awakening. Pressure is the doorway to purpose. What you are feeling is not random. It is alignment. It is itemation. It is awakening. You are stepping into the energy of who you were always meant to be. You are learning to trust your intuition more than your fear. You are learning to follow your spirit more than your doubt. You are learning to honor your divine calling more than the expectations of the world. Everything around you is shifting, because everything within you is shifting first. God is rearranging your life because the next chapter requires a different version of you. The chosen one cannot rise while holding on to old identities. You cannot step into your purpose while clinging to past wounds. You cannot carry light if you are still dimming yourself to fit into places that do not deserve your presence. God is calling you higher. He is preparing you for purpose. He is positioning you for elevation. This internal pressure, this emotional stirring, this spiritual sensitivity, it is all evidence that your soul is awakening. And hear this clearly. You are not imagining any of this. This is a message from God. You were called. Your spirit was chosen long before you understood why. The war you feel around you is real, but so is your power. So is your protection. So is your purpose. Your light is necessary in this world, and that is why the shift is happening through you before it happens around you. Chosen one, the reason you are feeling this shift is because you are meant to lead through it. You are meant to awaken others simply by being awakened yourself. You are meant to carry a frequency that disrupts darkness. You are meant to walk a path that only the spiritually aligned can understand. Everything you feel is preparing you for everything you are becoming. And if this touched your soul, if something inside you rose as you read this, then comment "Alev," because you know it deep inside, you were called. 2. The final warning. What God needs you to know now. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not just guidance, not just wisdom, not just comfort. This is a final warning. This is a message from God, arriving in your life at the exact moment when your spirit is ready to confront the truth. You are not imagining this urgency that keeps tugging at your heart. You are not imagining the pressure building inside you. You are not imagining the signs, the synchronicities, the repeated reddens, the sudden emotional downloads that feel like they came from nowhere. These are not random moments. These are signals. These are spiritual alarms ringing inside of you. This is God trying to wake you before the shift happens. There are distractions around you that you must release now, not tomorrow, not when life feels easier, not when you feel more comfortable. Now, the chosen one is always tested right before elevation, and your tests have been intensifying for a reason. Every temptation trying to drag you backward, every cycle you thought you escaped that suddenly resurfaced, every person trying to re-enter your life with the same energy that once broke you. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual traps meant to see if you've truly learned from your past, or if you will repeat the same pattern again. The final warning is simple. If you return to what God has freed you from, you will delay what God is trying to send you. You have been feeling torn between the old version of you and the new version that is trying to emerge. You have felt the pull of old habits, old relationships, old environments, old coping mechanisms. But the truth is this: you cannot step into your divine calling while holding on to what was designed for your old self. You cannot carry your destiny while clinging to your past. You cannot walk your sacred path while being entangled in cycles that God is trying to break. These distractions are not harmless. They drain your energy, lower your frequency, cloud your intuition, and distance you from your purpose. This is the final warning, because the shift will not wait for you to decide. The shift is coming whether you are aligned or not, and God is giving you this message because He wants you aligned. Ignoring your inner guidance is not just a mistake, it is a spiritual consequence. When you feel your intuition speaking and you silence it, you are not just ignoring your own thoughts, you are ignoring divine instructions. When you sense danger, but stay anyway. When you sense misalignment, but justify it. When you sense growth calling, but choose comfort, you are stepping out of spiritual protection and into spiritual stagnation. That heaviness you feel when you go against your intuition, that is the grief of your higher self, watching you shrink. That emotional discomfort is the reaction of your spirit, knowing you chose the path of delay. But understand this clearly: God does not give warnings out of fear. God gives warnings out of love. A parent warns the child they love. A teacher warns the student they believe in. A shepherd warns the sheep he is protecting. God is warning you because you are important to Him. You are chosen. You carry a divine calling. Your light is necessary. Your voice is needed. Your journey is part of a bigger spiritual movement unfolding on this earth. The shift happening in the spiritual realm is real, and because you are the chosen one, you feel it first. You sense the urgency, you sense the energy rising, you sense the pressure that others ignore, and God is speaking to you now because He refuses to let you miss what He prepared for you. The signs you have been receiving repeatedly are not random. Every repeated number you see, 111, 20, 44, 777, these are divine timestamps, reminders that the spiritual realm is aligning around you. Every intuitive thought that hits you suddenly, every wave of emotion that rises out of nowhere, every dream that feels like a warning, every moment where you feel watched over or guided, these are messages. These are confirmations. These are whispers from God, angels, and your higher spirit, trying to snap you out of confusion and into clarity. You have been guided every step of the way, even when you didn't know it. Refusing your calling leads to spiritual stagnation, but accepting it leads to elevation. This is the truth many avoid, because stepping into your divine calling requires courage, responsibility, and surrender. It asks you to release the familiar. It asks you to trust what you cannot see. It asks you to walk by faith and not by fear. But hear me clearly, elevation is on the other side of obedience. Breakthrough is on the other side of surrender. Peace is on the other side of alignment. You were not chosen for a small purpose. You were chosen for a powerful assignment. And that is why the battle around you has been so intense. The enemy always attacks the chosen one the hardest before their breakthrough, because the enemy knows what you are about to step into even before you fully understand it. The shift that is approaching is not just external, it is internal. Yes, the world is about to change in ways most people are spiritually unprepared for. But the greater shift, the one you are feeling so intensely, is happening within you. You are being realigned, recalibrated, awakened, Your old identity is dissolving. Your old wounds are rising for healing. Your old fears are being exposed so you can release them. Your spirit is shedding everything that is weighing you down, everything that is blocking your light, everything that is preventing you from stepping fully into your purpose. This inner shift is necessary for the external shift that is coming. And understand this, you are not being punished. You are being prepared. The struggle, the tension, the confusion, these are signs of transformation. You are in transition. You are being shaped. You are being refined. You are being made stronger, clearer, wiser, and more spiritually powerful. Every storm around you has been activating the warrior within you. The spiritual war you feel is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal you. Your light is needed. Your strength is needed. Your calling is needed. This is why the message is arriving with such urgency. This is why the warning feels intense. This is why your spirit feels alert. Chosen one, circle back to the beginning. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the signs. You are not imagining the shift. You were called, and because you were called, your journey demands discipline, awareness, and alignment. You cannot afford to fall back into darkness when God is pulling you toward destiny. You cannot afford to dim your light when the world needs your awakening. You cannot afford to repeat cycles when you were chosen to break them. Everything in your life is speaking the same truth. The time is now. The shift is happening. Your calling is activating. And this is your final warning to rise into who you were always meant to be. If this touched your soul, if your spirit felt even one sentence ignite something inside you, comment 111 open, because deep down you already know it. You were called. 3. Your divine calling. The role you must step into now. Chosen one, now that you understand the shift you are feeling and the final warning God has placed before you, it is time to speak about what truly matters, your divine calling. This part is not simply guidance, it is identity, it is truth, it is the reminder of who you were before the world tried to make you forget. Your entire life has been preparing you for this spiritual moment. You are not waking up accidentally. You are not being activated randomly. You are stepping into a destiny that has been written in your spirit since the very beginning. And now God is making it unmistakably clear. You are the chosen one, and there is a role only you can fulfill. Everything you have lived through, everything you survived, everything that broke you and everything that healed you, none of it was wasted. Every test trained you, every loss reshaped you, every betrayal strengthened your intuition, every delay sharpened your discernment, every season of isolation prepared your spirit for leadership. You did not endure those storms for no reason. You endured them because God was shaping you into someone who could carry spiritual responsibility without collapsing under it. The pain you felt was not punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness you experienced was not rejection. It was refinement. The confusion you battled was not failure. It was transformation. Being a chosen one comes with responsibilities, and God is asking you to step into them now. This calling is not about perfection. It is about alignment. It is about awakening to your inner truth and honoring the divine assignment placed inside you. You are meant to be a guiding light, a spiritual anchor, a healer through your presence, a leader through your example, a warrior through your resilience. Your energy shifts rooms. Your intuition reads people instantly. Your spirit senses danger before it arrives. You carry a different frequency, one that cannot be copied or replaced. This is why God has invested so deeply in your growth, because you carry what others cannot. In this new cycle, God expects you to rise into spiritual maturity. The version of you that once tolerated disrespect, abandoned your boundaries, ignored your intuition, or dimmed your light to make others comfortable, that version cannot enter the next chapter. The shift requires a stronger you, a clearer you, a more awakened you. You are being called to walk with purpose, speak with intention, trust your intuition deeply, and move with spiritual authority. The time for doubting yourself is over. The time for shrinking is over. The time for pretending you do not feel what you feel is over. God needs your full presence now. Your divine calling is connected to your gifts. Some of you carry healing energy that helps others simply by being present. Some of you carry wisdom beyond your age, wisdom that others seek without even knowing why. Some of you carry discernment that sees through deception instantly. Some of you carry creativity that shifts consciousness. Some of you carry compassion that melts emotional walls. Some of you carry courage that inspires entire communities. These gifts are not coincidences. They are clues. They are spiritual tools given to you because of the role you were born to play. Chosen one, this is also the moment to acknowledge your pain. You have been strong for so long, often without choice. You carried burdens that would have broken other people. You walked through darkness with no one to guide you but your own inner light. You healed in silence. You cried in private. You rebuilt yourself more times than you can count. And even when you were hurt, you continued to love. When you were betrayed, you continued to trust. When you were doubted, you continued to rise. That resilience is not ordinary. That endurance is not accidental. That is the mark of someone who has been spiritually chosen. The world has tried to bury your spirit many times, but every time they pushed you down, you rose higher. Every time they underestimated you, you proved them wrong. Every time they tried to dim your light, your soul burned brighter. This is the kind of strength God cultivates only in those He plans to elevate. And now your elevation is near. Understand this truth deeply. You were born for this exact moment of divine timing. The timing is not a mistake. Your awakening is not late. Your shift is not random. You are aligning with your purpose because the world needs what you carry now. The spiritual atmosphere is changing and your presence is required. You were sent ahead of the shift so you could lead during it. You were trained in isolation so you could guide others when the world enters its season of transformation. You were given a sensitive spirit so you could sense danger, discern truth, and walk in alignment long before others awaken. What God needs from you now is obedience. Not blind obedience, but spiritual obedience, a willingness to listen when your intuition speaks, to follow the path even when you cannot see the whole road, to trust the divine guidance that has never failed you. Your divine calling requires courage. It requires surrender. It requires letting go of who you were so you can step fully into who you are destined to become. You must become the version of yourself that the shift demands, clear, grounded, intuitive, aligned, awakened. You must stop silencing your gifts. You must stop apologizing for your light. You must stop downplaying your calling to avoid making others uncomfortable. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, and your spiritual power becomes undeniable when you stop hiding it. Circle back to the beginning. This is a message from God. You are not imagining your awakening. You are not imagining your calling. You were chosen long before you understood what that meant. And now, in this moment of divine timing, you are being called to stand in your identity fully. You are being summoned into your spiritual role. You are being asked to rise as the leader, healer, warrior, guide, and light bearer that you were always meant to be. The war around you is real, but so is your assignment. Darkness has been attacking you because your light is necessary. You carry healing in your presence. You carry strength in your voice. You carry wisdom in your soul. You were not chosen randomly. You were chosen intentionally, And now the world needs what you carry. Chosen one, step into your divine calling. Step into your power. Step into your truth. Step into your destiny. The shift is near, and your spirit is ready. If this touched your soul, comment 11 Ps, because you know it, you were called. Conclusion. You are ready for the great spiritual shift. This is the moment where everything circles back to the beginning, to the truth that first called you, to the message that arrived in your spirit long before your mind could explain it. You have walked through awakening, through warning, through activation, through calling, and now you stand at the threshold of the great spiritual shift. Nothing about your journey has been accidental. Nothing has been random. Every sign that found you, every moment of heaviness, every sudden pull in your spirit has been leading you here. And as you reach this final passage, you are being reminded once again that this message did not come to you by coincidence. It came because you were meant to receive it. It came because you are chosen. You have felt the pressure and the stretching, the inner expansion that made no logical sense. The moments when you felt spiritually awake even when the world around you seemed unchanged. You have felt the whisper that kept rising inside you, telling you that something was coming, something you needed to be ready for. And now you know, the spiritual shift is no longer approaching. It is here. You are standing in the energy of transition, and God has guided you through each stage so you could arrive at this moment with clarity, strength, and purpose. This conclusion is not an ending. It is the final blessing before your next beginning. Think back to where this journey started. You were awakened, not because life pushed you, but because God called you. You were given the warning, not because you were in danger, but because you were being prepared. You were activated, not because you were lost, but because your soul was aligning with higher truth. You were reminded of your divine calling, not because you doubted your identity, but because it was time to step into it fully. And now, in this final moment, you are being affirmed. You are ready for the great spiritual shift. Everything you have endured, everything you have learned, everything you have released has positioned you for the elevation you are about to receive. There is a sacred stillness before transformation, a quiet recognition that your life is no longer the same. You may feel it in your chest, in your intuition, in the way time feels different, in the way your awareness has sharpened. That sensation is not confusion. It is alignment. It is the confirmation that you have crossed the internal threshold necessary for the shift. God has been moving pieces around you, removing distractions, opening new pathways, and clarifying your spirit so that when this moment arrived, you would not hesitate. You would recognize it instantly, and you have. This message is not simply words. It is a spiritual seal. It is the final reminder that you are capable, chosen, ready, and divinely positioned. You are not stepping into this shift alone. You are stepping into it with God's hand over your life, with the protection that has followed you since the beginning, and with the purpose that has been woven into your existence from the moment you first took breath. You have been guided, shaped, challenged, strengthened, and awakened because you were destined to rise at this exact point in time. There is no delay. There is no mistake. You are here because you were meant to be. Trust what is unfolding around you. Trust the internal clarity that has been growing. Trust the timing that never once failed you. Trust the whispers that led you here, the intuition that kept guiding you, and the divine energy that kept pulling you into alignment even when you resisted. The shift is not happening to you, it is happening for you. It is opening doors you were once too wounded to walk through, granting you blessings you once felt unworthy to receive, calling you into the powerful, elevated version of yourself that God always knew you would become. You were chosen for a sacred reason. You were chosen because your spirit was strong enough, your heart was pure enough, your path was destined enough. And now, as the shift begins to move through your life, you can step forward with confidence. You are aligned. You are awakened. You are ready. If this message aligned with your spirit, comment 777. And if this touched your soul, comment 1 and Everin. Because you know it, you were called.